Hi there and welcome to another episode of My Currency Transfer TV. Now today we have a great episode in store for you, just because we're loving the weather here and it's got us in super happy moods. So we've done some thorough research and found out the top 10 things that expats miss most about the UK. And no, oddly enough, the stunning and ever reliable British weather is not amongst the top 10. The country of Shakespeare, Churchill, the Beatles, Sean Connery, Harry Potter, David Beckham's right foot, David Beckham's left foot come to that, as Hugh Grant so rightly states in that wonderful British film, Love Actually. But it's not just the people and our glorious ability to not take ourselves too seriously. In fact, it's those too often forgotten and overlooked aspects that we miss the most. So, first up, something completely not British is Marmite. So I'm not a fan myself, but who'd have thought, eh? A pot of gloopy brown stuff that turns out to be in the top most missed foods. And no one really knows why the yeasty paste that half the nation hate has statistically made it here, but we do know that it can be found down baking aisles in some supermarkets abroad. So do not despair if you travel overseas and think you will be separated forevermore. Next up, people saying sorry when it's not their fault. You probably take this for granted, but statistics show that the English are the most apologetic nation, and that includes someone brushing past you on a commuter train and you making a genuine apology for being invisible. Not only do foreigners lack this attribute, but they seem to lack knowledge of the existence of the word sorry, full stop. Next, lamb. Perhaps more common in England, where countryside is present and available for sheep to roam freely, as opposed to New York or Stockholm, where they may not be as accustomed to city streets. A healthy and delicious meat, lamb is almost a delicacy, particularly in Britain, so make the most of it. Venture to Japan and be prepared for horse and cat tongue. Next up, the beautiful winding country roads. This is a perfectly acceptable reason for being late for appointments and getting lost in the UK. When you are residing in USA, a nation built upon a grid system, not to mention driving primarily in automatic, travelling is pretty dull. No hills, no frills, no turns, no concern, nothing. Driving and walking become the epitome of monotony. Next up, of course, what could we do without it? It's tea. So the likes of Lipton cannot replace PG Tips breakfast tea and Twinings Earl Grey. We like our cuppers typically British, ideally served up in a really cute Cat Kidston mug. Quite unthinkable anywhere else in the world, and so tea is unfortunately something we must love and leave behind. So that's tea, and we move on to room temperature beer. Not just beer, room temperature beer. So across the globe, bars and pubs will serve you up fancy beers in flashly bottles, but at sub-zero temperatures. Quite frankly, unacceptable and most certainly undrinkable. Days of sitting in the Nag's Head Cornish bartenders pulling pints of warm ale are long gone. Meet your new pal, Budweiser. Next up, Sunday roasts. So bring back the sprouts, we hear you say. An astonishing 92% of expats would rather eat Brussels sprouts with their roast every Sunday for the rest of their lives than spend the rest of their expat years without a Sunday roast at all. We don't blame them. The comfort of a roast dinner is second to none. Next up, it's the National Health Service, and I can't quite believe this myself, but the NHS is in the top 10, and we may do nothing but complain about it in the UK, but leave the country and you'll soon be crawling back for an excellent health service system. Knowingly pulling money out of your pocket for healthcare insurance is a killer, particularly when you recall a healthcare system that is virtually free in the UK, to some extent. So, next, balanced news coverage, probably something you don't appreciate until you leave the country either, but tune into an American TV channel and you will soon be brainwashed into supporting the favoured political views of that station. What happened to the news when it was just news and not biased broadcasting propaganda inflicted upon us innocent viewers and newspaper readers? No wonder so many expats miss the impartial British news. And last but not least, Marks & Spencer's underwear. So quite right, Marks and Spencer's underwear is unparalleled and beyond compare to cheap polyester infused lingerie widely available across the globe. The thermal pants and cotton brassieres we cherish in chilly English weather are actually the ultimate comfort item. So if you're in the UK, head to M&S and stock up on your thermals and never be without them again. So we hope that you have enjoyed today's episode of My Currency Transfer TV and hope we've got you feeling at least a little bit patriotic about this small but great country we live in. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at MyCurrencyTrans. Thank you for watching and goodbye.